everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I have something super fun and exciting planned for you all. Wings of Fire is a beautifully written series with tons of emotion, masterful detail, and character moments that truly shine. And with all of that comes quotes. Lots of them. There have been dozens of times while reading Wings of Fire where I've just stopped myself and admired how amazing a certain quote was. And so, I thought, why not put some of the best ones in a video? These quotes truly hit every emotional note and add to the awesomeness of the series. So today, I'll be giving you guys 6 of my favorite ones from Wings of Fire. Be sure to put yours down below, if it wasn't in here, because I would love to make a part 2 someday. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons! Deverdove95, Slightest Wild, Fizz, Thistle, Noobto, Pyronuke, and Avril. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. None of these are in any particular order, as I find each of them to be just as cool and interesting. Starting off the video, we have this Clearsight quote that sure does pack a punch. It's what this young Nightwing says to her lover moments before he's put to sleep for thousands of years. Clearsight had to stop the person she cared for so dearly, and it's not an easy scene to read. Let's see it in all its entirety. Nothing I did worked. I thought I was so careful, and we still ended up here. All that studying, all the timeline scrolls, now it's all happened, and I can't change any of it, and I still don't know where it all went so wrong. Maybe it was the first time you lied to me, or maybe it was losing Foeslayer and not being able to do anything about it. Maybe it was the small moments where you felt threatened or powerless or out of control, and all the things you did to fight those feelings. Or maybe it's just part of you, something you hatched with. Maybe that's what you really got from your father, along with your magic. Maybe you were always going to turn out this way, no matter how I tried to save you. Goodbye, my dearest love. Oh my goodness, this scene was beautiful and heartbreaking in a million ways. All of Darkstalker Legends leads up to it, and when the time comes for Clearsight to have to stop her lover, it really does hurt. You've seen how much they love each other, but Darkstalker had to be stopped. It's a scene that's written with such elegance, grace, and hopelessness. Thankfully, Clearsight gets her good ending, but this scene is still a tearjerker for many due to its unfortunate relatability or pure grief. This next Wings of Fire quote can be found in Winter Turning, and is said by this young Icewing himself. It's a short one, but still very impactful nonetheless. Winter says it at the very end of the book, after escaping death in the Diamond Trial. Because happiness is not where I am, it's who I'm with. I think this one is really special, and did resonate with me after I read it. Winter learned that no matter the circumstances, you can find happiness, home, and comfort in the people around you. So even when times get dark, if you let yourself be surrounded by the people who love you, you'll start to see the light. It's a lesson that's hard for Winter to learn, as he thought home was the only place he could be happy. However, he began to grow once he realized, and I think a lot of other people in the real world do too. The next WoW quote belongs to Glory in the Hidden Kingdom. This fierce reigning leader had to give a speech to the members of her tribe and get them to stand up for the dragons they lost. This was one of the many times that Glory proved herself to be worthy as queen, and it's a very well-written moment in the books. Listen to me. Your friends are suffering. They're tortured and trapped in caves in a horrible place that smells of smoke and death. There's no fruit. There's no sun time. This could have happened, and could still happen, to any of you. If you won't go rescue them, who will? They'll be lost out there forever. I know you'd rather sleep than deal with problems, but these dragons are from your tribe, and they need you. That's why I'm going to take the throne tomorrow. It's not because I want the biggest pieces of fruit or the highest sun platform. I'm doing this for the missing Rainwings, and for you, so that you don't have to spend the rest of your lives looking over your shoulders and thinking, our friends are still lost, and we could have saved them. I absolutely love this scene, and it's one of the highlights of the Hidden Kingdom for me. To see Glory stand up for what she believes in was amazing. If not for her, so many dragons would have been lost forever. It takes a leader, and anyone can be one. Glory was the perfect example of that. She started off as a Rainwing who had never seen the sun, or stepped out of the cave she was born in. Glory wasn't even part of the prophecy her friends were. She had no clearly written destiny. But then she ended up ruling 2 tribes. It's crazy how much your life can change when you see your worth and work with it. I think this scene presents a very good lesson for everybody to learn, and Tui worded it with such great emotion. This next one is yet another winter quote, and it's a scene in the series that has stood out to me for years. It comes in Darkness of Dragons when 𝙈𝙤𝙀𝙤 needs sense talked into him the most because of everything going on. He could have lost himself if he didn't get this harsh but necessary reality check from his dear friend Winter. Don't you trivialize this! Don't act like what he did is normal or acceptable. He was trying to make me adore him, against my will, changing my thoughts and my feelings like I'm just a character in the story he's writing about himself. Like nobody else is real except him. If that's something you would seriously do, Sandwing, then we can never, never be friends. First off, I totally agree. Darkstalker was majorly in the wrong, but 𝙈𝙀𝙀 was also about to be. Sometimes it takes your friend telling you the truth for you to see your own flaws. Obviously, them saying that should come out of love, not anything else. And I think it did deep down in Winter. If it weren't for this message, I think we could have seen a very different end to the second arc. And honestly, this entire scene is so memorable to me for that very reason, and the tension Winter's words bring. Up next is a 𝙈𝙀𝙀 quote, taken from the same book. The fact that you can't be good on your own, that's part of the problem. You shouldn't need a on your shoulder telling you that killing all the Ice-Wings is wrong, or that taking over your father's mind was an awful thing to do. This is yet another thing I agree with. It really made the reader understand how there was no way for Darkstalker to change, not after all the bad choices he continued to make. The way he thought about everything was so twisted, and 𝙈𝙀𝙀 was right. You shouldn't need somebody to tell you whether every little thing you do is right or wrong. That's something you should know. That's your responsibility. While your friends are here to help and guide you, you also need to listen to them. And this last quote of the video is yet another from this young Sandwing. It comes at the very end of Darkness of Dragons, and it's considered one of the most memorable quotes in the series. You didn't lose your soul because magic ate it away slowly. You lost it because you chose to do terrible things over and over again. Each terrible thing, each betrayal, each murder added to this mountain. That's not the magic's fault. That's you. That's who you chose to be. This is very true, and more proof that endless magic itself doesn't magically corrupt. It's what you do with the power that does. It's like being the ruler of a country. Being king or queen doesn't make you inherently evil. However, if you let yourself be corrupted by the power and influence, that's on you, not the crown on your head, because it's not enchanted. It takes balance, patience, and self-restraint. Darkstalker ignored this truth, however. He continued to do evil, and that wasn't a result of the magic. It's what he did with the gift he was given. There's responsibility you have to take, and Darkstalker didn't. But we can learn from that, and I think that's an amazing thing. But what do you guys think? Are there any other quotes you'd love for me to talk about? I'd be totally interested in doing a part 2, and there are tons more out there I could mention. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!